Hi friends, my name's Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and today I'm starting a new book, and I am very excited for this series and to start it off with the first book, and that is Flawless by Elsie Silver. This series has taken BookTube by storm, and I am feeling very left out, so I'm very excited that I am a co-host for ChesnutSpringsALong. ChesnutSpringsALong is hosted by Claire and co-hosted by me and Leandra. I will link everyone down below, so definitely check that out. And it is not too late to join us because when you are seeing this, the live show will be in a couple of days. So you can definitely read the first book, jump on the live show, or even pick it up next month and catch up on both books. I am the resident Canadian of Chestnut Springs Along, and I feel like I have let the Canadians down by not reading the Canadian cowboy books. How have I not done this yet? I do not know, but we are correcting it in this vlog. So in this vlog, I will be reading Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I really hope I love this as much as everybody else. Honestly, I'll be pretty surprised if I don't, so I have very high expectations for this book, but I have heard that Flawless is probably most people's least favorite of the series. By least favorite, I think people still love this book. They just really loved Heartless and Reckless and Powerless and Hopeless. I cannot wait to see what all this hype is about, so I am going to dive in and catch up on these Canadian cowboys and their romances.
You say that we should meet sometime for coffee. Start off fresh and find out how.
So yesterday on Sprints, I actually got through 137 pages of Flawless and got to the end of chapter 13. And so far, I am seeing why everyone is loving this book, and I am also having a really fabulous time reading Flawless. I'm so glad because this is such a beloved series, and I have to read all 5 of them for the read-along, so it's perfect that I'm enjoying them. So this one follows Rhett Easton. Rhett Easton is a bull rider. He's a professional bull rider, and he's getting a little older in bull rider terms. He's definitely not old. He's like my age. He's in his early to mid 30s. So he's not old, but he is old for a bull rider. Because as you can imagine, bull riding, hard on the body, hard on the joints, hard on the bones, hard on everything. He, in a moment of chatting with, I think, some friends, but it does end up getting caught on camera because a media camera was like rolling in the background, tells everyone that he hates milk. Which you would think, like, does that really matter? But this is a farming town, and also bull riding is kind of farm adjacent. And the milk industry and the dairy industry is a big deal. And he has a milk sponsorship with Dairy King. I think that is the name of the brand. This incites anger from his sponsors, as well as a lot of his main fan base who are farmers or people who work the land to make a living. And this puts him in a whole bunch of trouble. His sponsors are pulling out, and he is in the middle of trying to get to the championship game or tournament and is losing sponsors left, right, and center, has now got some fans who are very perturbed with him, and he's got himself in a bit of a spot. This was the first moment where I went, do I understand this because I'm Canadian? And I don't know. That's something you're going to have to tell me. I understood that milk ads and milk sponsorships are a thing, but I wasn't sure if that's mainly a Canadian thing or if that happens in other countries. So someone will have to let me know, and I'm sure we'll discuss it on the live show because to me that didn't seem odd. But I know that I was talking to somebody else and they thought the milk aspect of this was odd. Let me know if this is just a Canadian thing that there would be milk sponsorships and milk ads, because we definitely do have milk ads. And pretty big brands of milk in Canada that kind of like duke it out, if that makes sense. Anyway, his agent, Kip, is now trying to fix this problem. Kip is also losing money with every sponsorship that pulls out, is perturbed by this, and sends a babysitter to basically get Rhett on the straight and narrow. We need good publicity, nothing bad. Don't let him do anything off color. Make sure he gets to the championship. And who does he send but his daughter, Summer? Summer is working at his agency, and I think there is kind of a plan. It isn't really stated in this book, but I can kind of see that that might be the case, that Summer at some point takes over this business for her father. He seems to be kind of putting a lot of pressure on her to kind of learn the ropes and learn what to do and get her to know what's going on in the business. She goes to the Easton Ranch and she actually moves in because she is now going to keep Rhett on the straight and narrow. They do not really get along at first because he just sees her as a glorified babysitter. Fair enough, that's basically what she is. And he is a grown man and does not think he needs a babysitter. She kind of doesn't really want to be babysitting him either, but she also wants to get Rhett to get his sponsorships back and kind of fix this problem. It's her job and she likes her job. So she's going to really try and get this ship righted and back on track. At the part of the book I'm at now, they just went to their first bull riding competition. And I think we're about to hit the only one bed trope. Summer's room at the hotel has no heat. The heater is broken and the hotel is not fixing it in a timely manner. So I'm pretty sure she's going to have to stay in Rhett's room. What will happen with the only one bed trope, we shall see, but I'm at the precipice of it. At this point, I would say that I really like Summer. We are sometime in Rhett's head, but not very much. It is definitely more of the time that I'm in Summer's. So I feel like I know Summer better, and I also really just like Summer as a character. Summer is super sarcastic, and her humor is very similar to my brand of humor, of these witty comebacks and sarcasm. Rhett, I still don't feel like I know Rhett very well. I think Rhett has a lot of walls up. He has a lot of walls up around Summer. He is got walls everywhere. And because of that, she's figuring out things about Rhett and I'm figuring them out as we go. But I don't feel like I know Rhett super well at this point in the book. I don't think I'm supposed to. I think L.C. Silver is giving me little bits of Rhett at a time. And I'm sure I'm going to figure out why he has all these walls up as we go through the book. I just don't know yet. But that's pretty much all my thoughts at this point in time. Today, I have decided that even though I don't live in this part of Canada, I live on the East Coast, not the West Coast, where you would really see a lot of cowboys. But today, I have decided to go on a little bit of an adventure. I don't live in this part of Canada. I live on the East Coast, not the West Coast, where you would mostly find ranches and cowboys. However, we do have some if I leave the city a little ways. So I am going to be going to a horse farm today. My whole family's going to go. We're going to have a fun time. You won't see my family in the vlog because they don't like to be on the internet, and that's completely fine. But I am going to take you along. And we're going to go to a horse farm and we are going to see what we see, and will we find some cowboys? One can only hope that we will find some cowboys.
Put 20 seconds on the clock and my stomach's in knots. My knees have done locked. Met you that lazy afternoon, and I'm thinking of you, still thinking of you. Please come home, every minute gone, it seems like a day I've been wasting away with yesterday's old news. I can't get enough of you, I'm stuck in a daze. Stuck in it, please come home, I miss you every day. I'm yours, na 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 na, I'm yours, na 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 na, I'm yours, na na na, I'm yours, ooh, yours, na 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 na, I'm yours, na 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 na, I'm yours, na na na, I'm yours, ooh, ooh. At 20 years upon the page, still counting the ways, feels like 20 days. Scroll through the memories in my mind, though I like to rewind, you get better with time. Please come home as the clock beats on. I'm watching the hands, they idly stand. With every moment gone, it's a lifetime long.
Y'all, it's the next day, but all I can tell you is I had a lovely time at the farm yesterday, but I was exhausted when we got home. But that just led into me spending some time reading Flawless and just relaxing and kind of sitting down after a day out on the farm. I ended up getting to page 255 of Flawless. And this update, I have a few things to say, but I still feel pretty much the same as I did last time. I still really like Summer. I feel like we really know Summer quite well. We've met most of her family or have talked about her entire family. She has a really different family structure. We find out that Summer was the result of an affair, but she is still close to her father, but it definitely has led to very different family structure for her in family relationships. These family relationships maybe led her to be a bit vulnerable to relationships with men in the past that were not appropriate or not healthy. And we see that and we get to know a lot about Summer in this book. I still do not feel like I know Rhett any more than I did last time, which last time I talked to you, I was okay with that. I figured I would get to know Rhett more by now. I figured I was going to get bits and I would get to really understand Rhett. Now, I only have a little over 100 pages left in this book, and I'm wondering if I do. I hope so, because if I don't, I think I'm going to be a bit disappointed in Rhett's character. And I find this really funny because I feel like everyone totes this as following the Easton family. And I would say I don't know that much about the family or about the boys at all. I'm more with Summer. So maybe that is just me not quite understanding what the books follow, or me just hearing tidbits from the book community that are not exactly true. Or not the whole story, at least. We'll see as I read through the series and through the rest of this book, but I feel like at this point, I really just know Rhett on a very surface level. We did have our only one bed trope. We also had an only one horse trope, which I think is very appropriate for this genre of literature. And we have now had a couple of smutty scenes. Unfortunately, those were just okay for me. There was nothing wrong with them. There was nothing bad. There was nothing just really good about them either. I was very middle of the road with those. And I think the reason for that is because I don't feel that connected to Rhett as a character. And when you're not connected to the characters, it's hard to care about their romance. And I do really like Summer, but I need to like both of them. And I don't dislike Rhett. I'm very indifferent towards Rhett at this point in time. It's very surface level understanding his motivations, and I'm just indifferent. So I'm hoping the last 130 pages, yes, 130 pages, changes my perspective of Rhett. Hopefully I get to know more about him, get to know more of what is at his core, and really get more invested in his story in the last bit of this book. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to finish it today. You'll know when I come back and chat with you. That's going to really change my outlook of how this ends, because I am okay with it as long as it comes. Like I said in the last clip, if we're going to slowly break down his walls and kind of learn about him slowly, I'm okay with that. I would have liked to have started already, but if we get there by the end, I'm okay with it. Right now, though, I don't think we're quite there with Rhett. I know Summer, and I really do like Summer. I like her humor. I like that character a lot, and I'm very invested. I just need to get to that level with Rhett, and I'm really hoping we do by the end. So yesterday I finished Flawless, and we did get to our third act breakup. I expected one. It is a romance. And I think this third act breakup makes sense. As long as a third act breakup makes sense, it isn't just like a weird miscommunication, I'm okay with it being in a book. In this case, if I was the main character in which what happened to, it would also make me rethink this relationship. And I think the time they took apart was valid. However, there is something else that happens in the end of this book, and it's a pretty major thing for our character, Rhett. If you've read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm just going to leave it there because I am not going to give spoilers. If you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, the live show is on Saturday. But this major thing happened, and between the third act breakup and that major thing, I had a couple of gasp moments. But the outcomes of those were very different. As I said with the third act breakup, that all made sense. The big thing around Rhett was really glossed over very, very quickly. And that added to my feeling of Rhett being a very surface level character, which was unfortunate because I just kept waiting to dive deep and find out more about Rhett past the surface. And we never got there with Rhett. I adored Summer. I've been saying it this entire vlog. I love Summer. I really liked her as a character. I really understood her. But Rhett just was not my main character that I could latch on to, unfortunately. And for that reason, I gave Flawless 3.5 stars. I am quite excited to continue the book though, because even though I have not seen Cade a lot, I have seen Cade a little bit, and I am intrigued in Cade's storyline, which is the brother that we follow in Heartless. Cade also has a young son named Luke, and I, from the tiny bit that I saw Luke, am already obsessed. So I'm excited to see this family go into the next book. But unfortunately, Rhett is really the reason this book got only 3.5 stars, which is not a bad rating. I don't want to say that's a bad rating. It's very average. It's middle of the road. And that's how I felt about Rhett. He was just very meh for me. But that is the end of this vlog. That is my thoughts on Flawless, and also taking you along to see if we could hunt down some Canadian cowboys at a farm. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, friends.